Machiavelli Mills TV. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I just didn't know how to put it into words, but here goes nothing. I want to pose the question to all baseball fans, people who watch baseball, especially Black American folks who are really into the game of baseball. Can you be unapologetically Black in Major League Baseball and make it? Right? What do I mean by that? Being unapologetically Black, first of all, I can tell y'all that Black folks are not monolithic. We are not all one way, right? But Black folks have a certain rhythm about us, especially, I'm not talking about dance moves, even though some people might associate it with that. I'm talking about the way we vibrate when we talk to each other. Not even when we just talking to each other, when we talk in general. The way we walk, the bounce in our step, the way it's a certain type of swagger most Black folks have, especially when you grow up around other Black people, right? And I want to know, can you bring that to baseball for real? The reason why I ask that is because most of the baseball players, the Black American baseball players, because I know some people will count the Dominicans as Black because they are really African people who speak Spanish in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and stuff like that, right? A lot of them are African people who speak Spanish. Look at Big Papi David Ortiz. He looked like his name DeAndre. When you hear him talk, you say, oh, damn, what's going on? Right? For real. You know, if you didn't know his last name was Ortiz. Yeah, man, like I look at the Black American players in Major League Baseball. Andrew McCutchen, Curtis Granderson, Ken Griffey Jr. A lot of these individuals, and I'm not trying to be derogatory when I say this about them, they are G. Willikers type of guys, especially when they present themselves to the public. And there's nothing wrong with talking polished. There's nothing wrong with talking proper. There's nothing wrong with that. But I've seen Curtis Granderson when he came to visit Mississippi Valley State University, when he was playing with the Yankees. He came to visit my HBCU. His people attended Mississippi Valley State University, his parents. His parents are from Chula, Mississippi. So he came down there to my HBCU that I was attending, my alma mater, and spoke to us during my freshman year there. And yeah, Curtis was still polished, but I could still see the Black swagger emit from him in ways that I really never really saw it in interviews that he did in Major League Baseball. And it posed me to say, do you gotta be like that in baseball to really be like, to go unscathed? For real? You know what I mean? To last longer, do you have to be that way? Because I look at them, man, and a lot of them feel like they have to be ultra clean cut in order to be okay. And I know it's some of them talk like that on a regular basis, but I know it's some of them that do not talk like that for real. And because I'm gonna say this, I know Black folks we are not monolithic. I will tell y'all that. But most of us are not G. Willikers type of guys. We don't really give off G. Willikers type of aura. And especially if we went to school with Black folks. If we grew up around Black folks and we are in touch with our Black people in our community, most of us ain't gonna be G. Willikers. Because you can be professional without being G. Willikers. When I'm saying unapologetically Black, that does not mean being ignorant. That is not being a stereotype. That is really just being your authentic self. And sometimes I don't think these brothers are being their authentic selves when they get to Major League Baseball. They're playing a character that they feel like they have to put on so the baseball purists don't overly criticize them, don't overly analyze them, don't overly, critique them in negative fashions. You know what I mean? Even when you playing on a team full of non-Black folks, when you leave that team, most of the time you got Black folks, you going back home to your Black people. Thanksgiving time, Curtis Granderson coming to right outside of Chicago and Blue Island and stuff like that, right? Right outside of Chicago. He coming with his people, your grandmama and them, your mama and them, your cousins and them, and I can guarantee you Curtis Granderson family is not G. Willikers. I can tell you that. They not. I spoke to Mr. Granderson, Curtis Granderson Sr., and he was not a G. Willikers type of Black man at all. And so I be wondering, do they have to play these roles in order to go through unscathed? And it leads me all back to something while I'm posing this. I look at the career of Tim Anderson. Yes, Tim Anderson struggled recently. He's went through some struggles on the field, on the baseball diamond, right? Now, I'm not as versed as baseball as other people, right? As something like my best friend Melvin. He's extra versed in baseball, heavily knowledgeable about the sport. I look at Tim. Yes, he was struggling throughout his career. I mean, throughout the end of his time with the White Sox, struggling mightily where he didn't hit any home runs. He had one on the season? And he was struggling for real. But I think about the way he presented himself to the public. Tim Anderson was unapologetically black. All right? No question about it. Like when you watched him, it was something that was familiar about his aura, about his spirit, something that was familiar with black folks that resonated with us. Because he wasn't trying to put on airs for anybody. He wasn't trying to come off as, hi, I'm just one of the guys. I'm just one of the, G Willikers guy. I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm just, oh my God, it's G Willikers. It's just, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Oh, jeez Louise, Zetus Lapidus. It's just good. He was not coming off like that. He came off like a black man that I could talk to in Chicago. Not a gang-banging black man. Not an ignorant black man. An everyday black man that I grew up with in my neighborhood. Tim came off like that. Which is why a lot of black folks gravitated to Tim. Because of the swagger he admitted. He admitted it when he hit the baseball. Flipping the bat in the air. In the Field of Dreams game when he hit the walk-off home run against the Yankees. He doing, it's over. It's over. It's over. Man, that's black swagger like playing in the playground. When you hooping, you talking, oh man, when you talking trash on the court, it's over with. Get him up out of here. It's done. I cooked him. That's how Tim was admitting it, right? The way Tim dressed. He dressed like a boy, a guy I could see on the south side of Chicago walking around. He dressed like young black men dress when they come from inner cities. And Tim ain't even from the inner, well, he's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He's from the South. He dressed like other black folks that grew up in predominantly black areas, like how we dress a lot of times. And so that made him resonate with the public. But what I noticed is that Tim was still facing criticism within that. The bat flipping. Baseball is a country club sport. Like they want, in order to get into baseball's club, you got to present yourself in a certain way. You got to act a certain way. You got to talk a certain way. Your style has to be a certain way, or you get frowned upon. And the only way they will get over it is if you're an all-time great. If you can, people wanted to get on King Griffey Jr. head for wearing his hat backwards at first. They thought he was trying to be cool and trying to be hip, and how dare he bring that shit to baseball. But he was able to overcome that because even in his presentation, King Griffey Jr. was a little G Willikers, okay? And I'm not trying to talk about King Griffey. He's a solid brother, solid black man. But he was a little G Willikers, and maybe it was more of who he is because he probably didn't grow up in black areas due to his father already being a Major League Baseball player and all that, right? But, and he probably didn't grow up. But I know he got black-ass cousins and stuff like that too, though. But, maybe it could have been really Ken Griffey. But he faced criticism. Tim, that bat flipping, that swagger, the way he hit the ball, the way it's over, it's over. It's some people that don't like that bravado and are turned off by that. And so I recognize that the criticism that he got. And I felt like that bravado that he carried, that unapologetically black spirit and bravado, along with things that he said about the baseball game, led to him being really wanting to push him out of baseball even more, right? I think that you can't bring unapologetically black swagger to baseball. You can take it to basketball, you can take it to the NFL to a lesser degree, but you can't bring that shit up in baseball, right? And I think about what happened in Tim's career. I think if Tim, because you found out Tim was cheating on his wife. He produced a child outside of his marriage. He had an affair and he produced a child. You found out that Tim didn't grow up wanting to be a baseball player. So when you couple that, that's really the thing. Tim didn't grow up with dreams of being a baseball player. He really lucked up. He found a way. He found out how to hit. He hadn't touched baseball for a while, went back to it in high school after a basketball injury, and really found himself making strides that people never predicted that he made. So it was not his dream. He really wanted to be a hooper. And when you hear a young man with this unapologetically black bravado, talking about how he didn't grow up wanting to be a baseball player. He talks about how he really does not watch baseball because it's a boring sport to him, right? He get on CC Sabathia podcast and say that. He say that when they ask him about the Field of Dreams home run, he's like, how do you feel about the Field of Dreams? And one of the white guy that's on CC Sabathia's podcast asked him, how did it feel? And he like, I ain't never watched that movie before. I ain't watched no Field of Dreams. Like he said in a way like, I don't watch Field of Dreams. I ain't never watched that movie before. That movie don't resonate. He letting the world know that movie does not resonate to him. Because let's be honest, man, black folks don't give a fuck about no Field of Dreams. That's not no shit we grow up watching. That ain't nothing your daddy put on and say, let's watch this. That ain't no shit we grew up watching. We grew up watching Like Mike. We grew up watching Coach Carter. We grew up watching Remember the Titans even. We grew up watching certain other basketball movies. But we ain't watched no goddamn Field of Dreams. We even watched The Sandlot before we watched the goddamn Field of Dreams. That ain't no shit that resonated with us, right? But for him to say that, he didn't watch, like he say that, like people that watch baseball act like Field of Dreams changed their life. Baseball historians and baseball aficionados and baseball purists and a lot of the kids, the white kids that grew up playing baseball, they act like Field of Dreams changed their life. Like it was just the most marvelous thing they ever could imagine. And it was just the pinnacle of everything in their life. And Tim didn't carry that same spirit. He didn't care about that movie. It didn't resonate to him. It didn't make him feel a certain way. Like that movie he never watched the movie at all. And when you're playing in a game, you have your biggest moment in a game named after that movie, and you say that movie ain't nothing you resonate with, and CC Sabathia say, yeah, black folks don't watch that shit. And Tim Anderson stands on it, yeah, and laugh and say, he right, we don't watch that. It's people that don't like that. Then you got people like, it's people that's in the minor leagues, spend years in the minor leagues trying to come up. And they've been trying to be baseball players their whole life. Tim say, I wanted to be a basketball player. And he lucked up into that position. It's people that don't like that shit. When he say he don't watch baseball, it's people that don't like that. The baseball purists don't like that. He's being honest with you. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of black folks that really don't watch baseball like that. Now, it's like they would look and say, well, Tim, you're not being an ambassador of the game because you're not bigging up the sport. Even if you don't watch it, why are you saying it's boring? And why you say you didn't watch it? You don't watch it. Why are you saying you never seen Field of Dreams? You know, it's bad enough that we don't really like your bravado, that, you know, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way, because Tim was, and I seen Ryan Clark say this, you are black. And I know he meant it like you're not he meant it in two ways. You're a black American. You're not a black Latin player. You're black American, but you're unapologetically black. You carry a spirit like you grew up on the south side of Chicago. And I ain't gonna take nothing away from Tuscaloosa because he carried a spirit like he come from Tuscaloosa. So, like, that's for real. But Tim started to embody the bravado of the city in a way as well. A lot of the, he hanging around the city, talking to a lot of the celebrities and rappers in Chicago. And it's people that don't like that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna get Tuscaloosa. That's y'all boy. That's y'all boy. We borrowed on for a minute. That's y'all. Tim is y'all's. That's y'all boy. I'm gonna shout out to Tuscaloosa because Deontay Wilder my guy too. That's y'all boy, right? But Tim he had a certain bravado with him, and the way he walked and the swagger he possessed, he had that black swagger down pat. What's black swagger? Remember on Black Panther when after he became king, he walking down the hallway with that little bop on him. When he salute before he go into Shuri's lab, and he walking down the hallway when the folks in the hallway, and he got that little, that little bounce in his step, that little bump, that little limp with it. That's black swagger, man. You can't emulate that, and he was unapologetic about having that aura on him. And so people never like that, the bat flipping, that playground swagger. They might accept it more from the Dominicans. Because even with them acting, because they have their bravado too, even with them acting like that, they're gracious for being in baseball. They act like baseball is the end-all be-all of everything for them because it changed their life. It got them to America, and it got them to making major money. Tim Anderson, on the other hand, he's always been an American citizen. He doesn't feel indebted to the game as some other people do, even though it changed his life and made him a millionaire and changed his family life. He feel like, yo, I mean, hey, I worked hard for this. So I shouldn't have to act like baseball is everything and I love it, even though I don't really watch it like that. Now, again, I understand it's not being an ambassador to the sport when you say it's boring and you really don't really watch it. But I think really the swagger he admits, flipping a baseball bat and all of that, the peers don't like that. So they wanted to find a reason why. And then when he started, so he started going through slumps. He's going through a big ass slump. I'm saying if he acts like Curtis Granderson and if he presents himself like Curtis Granderson, if he's talking proper, if he's G Willikers, if he's always smiling, Tim Anderson is on the baseball team right now. Tim Anderson a club is vying to get him right now. If he is, hold on, let me see. Yeah, if he is, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, if Tim Anderson is Curtis Granderson, if he's always smiling, if he's talking proper, if he's G Willikers, he's on a baseball team now despite him cheating on his wife. But because he's not Curtis Granderson, he's not McCutcheon, he's not King Griffey Jr., he's not extra polishing G Willikers. Oh, we're going to penalize you for cheating. Oh, you cheated on your wife, now we're going to act like it's the end of the world that you cheated on your wife. When Chipper Jones was cheating on his wife, got a Hooters girl pregnant on his wife. But Chipper's baseball royalty. He is a god amongst men in the Atlanta Braves, in Atlanta. But Chipper gonna get the pass. Because, hey, men do what they do. Chipper's a good guy, right? But because Tim got that black shit on him, hey, you cheat on your wife, and you know that baseball, that wives, that damn, you can't cheat on your wife in baseball unless you're all-time great. Because that wife union in baseball is bigger than any wives club in sports. You cheat on your wife, you don't big up baseball, you never really want to grow up being a baseball player like that. You say you never watched Field of Dreams because black folks don't really watch Field of Dreams. You got the swagger on you. You know, you're bat flipping. You got that inner city swagger shit on you. You don't talk G Willikers, you talk like what's going on. How y'all feeling? Okay, cool. That's what's up. All right. Cool. How you doing? All right. Yeah. I get you. All right. Yeah, man. It's cool, man. I like how baseball been treated. It's cool, man. I enjoy it, man, you know? Cause you talk like that, you know, oh my God, I'm just so gracious to be here. Oh, Jesus, G Willikers. Tim, you gotta be sitting out, brother. You're sitting out now. You're a free agent.